How to get it all done. There are so many things that we do as homemakers, and how do we possibly get it all done? We do live a rather busy life. My husband is a go-getter and doesn't sit still very long, and sometimes it is everything I can do to keep up with him because I am more of a slower paced introvert. But I want to talk today about how I schedule and prioritize in order to get the important things done. And then at the end, I want to share with you my schedule. That's not going to apply to everyone because everyone is in a different season of life, but maybe it will give you some ideas and be helpful. At least that is my hope for this video today. So I was looking at my upcoming schedule for this week, and just this week, this is what we have going on. I have my normal homeschool. I have a kindergartner this year. The older two go to school, and I work at that school, excuse me, 1 day a week. We are planning to host a couple for dinner one evening. We also attend our midweek church service. We have an out-of-town field trip. We are meeting extended family out of town for dinner. And then we have a thrifting mom's day out and preparing my video for next week. On top of the normal laundry and cooking and shopping and taking care of children and all that goes along with that. So let me share some of the things that help me as I try to get it all done. First of all, communicating with my spouse. This is essential to plan our week. So for me, on Sunday afternoons is usually when I approach him and ask him what he has scheduled for the upcoming week. God has called me to be his helper, his helpmeet, and if there is anything that he needs my help with, then I can prioritize that first and see where I need to fit that in the schedule, and then I can fill in everything else from there. That has been really helpful. That way, on a certain day, he's not saying, oh, I need to be here, can you do this? And we're on the same page, and I can be the best helper that I can be to him. Also, time blocking is huge for me. And at the end, I want to share my schedule, and I will show you how I block off each section of time. But if I don't do that, I can I mentioned I go at a slower pace, I can kind of just plod along and not really get a lot accomplished. And so when I block off, I'm going to do my ironing for this certain amount of time. If there's still ironing left after that, it's going to have to be pushed to another time. And it also keeps you motivated so you don't get bogged down in one thing. So for instance, if I'm decluttering and I say I'm going to declutter for this amount of time, then I know that there's an end to it and I can pick it back up again tomorrow or whenever that other time might be. So time blocking has been really helpful in my homemaking and juggling things as a wife and mother. Prioritizing. Prioritizing means that I'm going to get the most important things done first, or they're going to take priority in the way that I schedule my week. So for example, we have the field trip on Friday. The day before, I'm going to make sure that I have all of the clothes ready and snacks ready. The car is ready to go, and we are not taken by surprise, or we're not hurried that morning trying to get everything done in time. I know that that's happening on Friday and I can prepare accordingly. Also, I feel like in order to get a lot accomplished, you have to schedule times of rest. This has become even more important to me. If I schedule in regular afternoon tea times for myself, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I drink tea, maybe I drink coffee, maybe I take a nap, maybe I read a book, but just that little break in the middle of the day helps refresh me and reset me so that I can continue to keep going throughout the evening, and enables me to get even more done than if I had not taken the break and just kept pushing myself. Then I tend to go slower and my brain gets foggier and just don't get as much accomplished. So scheduling in rest, so daily rest, weekly rest. I try to take like a Sabbath morning on Saturday morning, and I don't do any housework until after lunch. And of course I'm taking care of children in the meantime, but I'm not adding to my plate that morning, so that I can just take a deep breath and give myself a little bit of rest time before entering in the next week. Fun time is also important. This week we are going on a Mom's Day Out thrifting day, and I am so excited because that refreshes me also. So scheduling these in every quarter or so gives me something to look forward to, and helps me to be a happier homemaker. When I know that that is coming, I can do my tasks with joy as I look forward to those times. Also family fun days and other things mixed in just gives you something to look forward to in the midst of the mundane. So, do I get it all done? The answer is no. I don't think anyone gets it all done, especially as a homemaker, because there's always more laundry, there's always more dishes, there's always another meal to prepare, and so it doesn't ever get all done. But we can get the important things done if we apply these principles that I have shared with you today. One more is eliminating distractions. Particularly, social media has its benefits, but it also can be very time consuming if we allow it to be. And people that say that they can't get it all done, if they eliminated that or put boundaries on that, I feel like they could get so much more done in that amount of time that they are spending scrolling the internet. And I have been guilty of it as well. I am trying to put in more safeguards so that I don't just waste that time, because time is so valuable. Time is something that we cannot get back, and how much more satisfying for us to fill our days with things that really matter, like serving and loving our families, being a good friend, helping those in need, than to waste that time. Let's spend our lives in a worthwhile way. So I hope this has been encouraging to you and has given you some food for thought. And now let me share with you a sample of my daily schedule. Just as a little disclaimer before I share this with you, this does not happen every day. Every day is different. Every day has its challenges. And like I mentioned earlier, the season of life is very crucial as well. Please don't compare yourself to anyone else, because right now I don't have an infant that I am up with all hours of the night, and don't have some physical issues that are keeping me from doing all of this. So I just want you to take it and apply the things that can be helpful to you. So 6:30 is wake up time, and I pretty much without fail always first go and make a cup of coffee. This morning I tried out a glass percolator coffee pot. We recently had the electricity go out, and it just reminded me that that is always nice to have as a backup when the electricity is not working. And so I pulled that out and tried it this morning, and it makes delicious coffee. I love my coffee to be hot, and the percolator is the best way to get the hottest cup of coffee. So my morning usually starts with coffee, and then from 6:30 to 7:15 is a designated work time. Usually my children are not awake before then, and so if I need to work on editing a video, if I need to get some bills paid, if I need to do anything on the computer before they wake up, because I don't like to be on the computer a lot during the day while they are awake. This is the perfect time to do that work on the computer before our morning gets started. At 7:15, usually everyone is beginning to wake up, and I am preparing breakfast, getting those lunches ready, helping my kids make sure they are dressed and ready to go. And my little ones have learned that this is mommy's time to help them get ready and what they need, and I will have time for them after the older ones are gone. Sometimes they will go ahead and eat breakfast with the others, but usually they wait so that they can have their designated mommy time. So then 8 o'clock is when the older ones leave, and this is my snuggle time with the little ones. Sometimes we will read, I will make them breakfast, we will do their little chores and help get them ready for the day, and then they will play as I maybe clean the kitchen up from breakfast. And then 9 o'clock we start our homeschool for kindergarten. Now my youngest is only 4, but she loves to be in the middle of everything and learn right alongside my kindergartner, and it has been so fun just to have that one-on-one time with these two as they are learning their alphabet and numbers, and it is such a joy. So from 9 to 11 is our designated working at the table time for their little homeschool. And then in between homeschool and lunch, I will switch over some laundry, do a morning pickup just of the house, and if I have any phone calls to make, that's usually when I will do those. Any appointments that need to be made or things that need to be followed up on, check my text messages and respond to those, maybe email. This just gives me time to do all of that house cleaning and correspondence. Then 12 is lunch, and the kids help me clean up lunch. If I need to set something out for dinner, such as meat to thaw, I will do it then. If I need to put anything in the crock pot, if I need to start any bread, if I am doing homemade bread, then that's a time to check on that and make sure that all is going smoothly so that dinner can go smoothly. And then 1 to 2 is when I do my house cleaning, and I kind of do this on a whatever is needed basis. I don't currently have a cleaning schedule as such, so if the bathroom needs to be cleaned, I'm going to clean the bathroom or declutter a drawer or whatever needs to be done at that time, then that is when that happens. It could also be like a project that I'm working on. If I'm trying to do a DIY or something, that I might work on that during that time as well. And then 2 o'clock is the coveted tea time or quiet time. My kids know that that is mommy's quiet time, and so they will find something quiet to do as well. They have kind of outgrown naps, which I really regret because I loved that time when they would rest and I would have a rest time. And this is also my devotional time. I know a lot of people do that in the mornings, but my brain takes a little while to wake up, and I feel like I don't get quite as much out of it in the morning as I do if I wait till the afternoon. So that is also my devotional time to make a cup of tea, to light a candle, to rest. And then 3 o'clock is snack time. I let the kids get a snack, and they usually will go outside if the weather is nice. My older kids get home about 3:30, so they will also have a snack and have some playtime. And during this time is when I try to fit in some exercise, maybe take a walk around the orchard or do some home aerobics or something like that. That is when I try to get that done before I start preparing for dinner. So 4 o'clock is when I kind of think about getting the house back in order before I prepare dinner. Like if the kids have brought in things from school, my husband has come in with any extra things, just making sure everything is kind of tidied up again. At 5:30 is when I try to make sure that dinner is good and going. We have eaten that early, but usually it's more towards 6 o'clock that we have dinner. And we all help clean up dinner so that that is not all left to me. And they all have their responsibilities with that. And we go ahead and pack lunches for the next day from leftovers. 6:30 to 8 is kids' playtime, more playtime. If it's still light outside, they're usually outside, and taking baths because we live on a farm and they pretty much take a bath every day. 8 o'clock sharp is book time, and at this time they can get their own books to look at and read. I also have been reading aloud to them out of Heidi, and we have really been enjoying that. This is something I love to do, and it has taken me a while to make sure that I set aside this time, because it's so easy to just keep doing house stuff or just staying busy and not setting aside this time. And we have so enjoyed it. We have done Little House on the Prairie in the past, but right now we're doing Heidi, and even my 4-year-old said, "Mom, I love reading Heidi." So it has been so fun, especially during the winter months, to just cozy up with some blankets while the fire is going and enjoy reading a good story. And then 8:30, the kids are in bed with lights out. And from 8:30 to 9:30 is kind of my time to get myself back in order. So if I need to take a shower, wash my hair, anything like that, that's kind of just my personal time. And then at 9:30, I like to read or listen to an audiobook. This is something that I really need to work on because I have found myself going to my phone instead of the other. But the lights on our phone are not good for us as we're preparing to go to sleep. I'm trying to gravitate more towards listening to an audiobook or reading an actual book that I can begin to wind down my internal clock and prepare for bed. And then I try to be in bed at 10. That doesn't always happen. Maybe doesn't usually happen, I should say. But if I can get in bed at 10 o'clock, then I am able to wake up earlier the next morning. And that is our schedule. I hope that maybe it has inspired you or given you some ideas for your own schedule. Homemaking is such a marathon. It is so challenging in that it never ends. As long as you have children in your life, not even in the home necessarily, I don't think, from the older moms that I've talked to, there's always things to be doing and investing in, even in the later years. And I would love to hear from some of you older moms about your challenges and struggles with schedules over the years. And maybe you can give us some wisdom as well. Blessings to you all, and I hope to see you next time.